how to find new clients as a social media manager or as a freelancer, and how to reach out to them directly. That is the topic of today's podcast. This is the number one asked question on social media, but it also recently has been a hot topic in my own environment. So let's dive right in with today's episode. So I was looking for someone to help out in our team, and I posted it on LinkedIn actually. And the amount of answers I got to that post in the first few hours, it was incredible, and I was so excited. And I started looking through all these messages, and what I realized is they were literally almost identical. Like the sentences were the same, the subject line was the same, the way they were structured was the same. So it was clearly written with ChatGPT, right? Like I could tell it didn't feel human, and it just wasn't super personal either. And what stood out to me, and I say that to my students a lot, is majority of the message was about them, what they are doing, what their experience is, and it was all I, right? Whereas when you reach out, whether this is as a freelancer, but already when you were writing job applications for a 9-to-5, it's the same. You should ask yourself, what does the company want from you? How can you help them? So it should be about them. So the same thing when you are a freelancer, you want to think about, what does this potential client need and how can I help them? So yes, your 10-year experience is great, but really at the end of the day, when you write the email, it doesn't really matter, because what matters is that I see right away that you can help me. So in this example, I was looking for a video editor, right? And at one point I was like kind of sick of reading the same message over and over again when you're not even adding your portfolio, because that's really what I need to see, right? So we already talked about that, and there's a full video about how to create your own portfolio. If you don't have one, you can start one with a free testimonial client. Again, it's explained in my other podcast. So for now, we want to discuss, okay, so what should you then write when it's not just about you? You should look at the potential client and see what are they already doing on social media, what are they doing good, and where could they improve. So I, as a potential client, should feel like you actually looked at my socials, not just my whole business, but actually at my social, because that's where you're applying for. So in my case, it was the video editor. They should have looked at my videos already and see like, okay, she's doing this, and this already great, but she could improve with this, and this. So that's what you want to base your email on. Now, I always suggest to keep the email short and actually do a little video pitch. Now, that's a story for a whole other video or a whole other podcast. If you're in my course, you have access to all of these things. But let's just loop back to what the actual message should be. So you look at the potential client's social and you see, okay, they are posting on Instagram, but maybe they're not using the newest strategies. So they are not creating shareable content. So then you're going to say like, hey, I love your channels. I love that you do this, and this. I'm seeing that you're not doing the newest strategies. Obviously use a better sentence than I'm doing now. I would love to hop on a quick call where I could share with you what I would do and how I could support you. And this should obviously sound and be genuine. So you actually want to look at the account and feel like, yeah, I could help them. And then you want to go on to a discovery call. Because only really on the discovery call will you figure out whether you can help this potential client or not. And again, I have a separate video for that. But for now, let's stay with the pitch message. Now, obviously, keep it nice. You don't want to call them out and say this, and this is really bad. But show them where there is potential for growth. And then the key factor, how you could help them. So show them 1 or 2 tips. Be super specific. So ChatGPT won't help you in this specific case, and it's not about writing elaborate sentences. It's about being super on point. Hey, I saw this, I liked it, or here's where I see potential, and then this is why I can help you. Again, nobody wants to read a full-on essay. Keep it short and simple. And now looping back to my video pitch, what you can do is record a little video where you actually show these points, like, hey, this specific point, you could add this and this, or in this specific video, you could add this and this. Now, going back to my example, there was only one video editor out of all these people who applied who actually said, hey, I looked at your videos, and here is a 1-minute video edit of how I would have done this specific video. So he just did 1 minute, not the full video, just to show me this is how I would do it, and these are my skills. So now you don't need to send me a full-on email because I see right away what your skills are. I see that you went onto my channels and that you actually see what I need. So now the conversation can start, and ideally the conversation now continues on a phone call. So the potential client can say what their needs are, and then you can see if you can help them. Okay guys, so the main takeaway from this podcast is really, it's not about you, it's about them. You want to figure out where there are potential challenges in their social media, what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, and how you can help them. You can even go as far as checking out if they are running ads, and if not, you can say, hey, I see that you're not running ads, maybe we could discuss that as well. I could help you grow with some paid marketing as well. So there's so many potential avenues on how you can reach out to potential clients. And really, when you do this, it doesn't matter right away if you've already worked with 10, 20 clients, 0 or 1 client, because now I'm looking at my email, seeing that you care about my business, that you put in the extra effort and you really looked at my channel. So that's like the last important thing. You want to make that potential client feel as if you actually took the time to look on the channels. Honestly, if you're just sending me a ChatGPT message, copy paste and just change the name of the person, you're not going to get that client. Like, it does need the extra effort. Like, talking about the extra effort, I was discussing that with Kim the other day, who is part of the Social Shells team. And I told her that for one of my jobs that I applied like 15 or 10 years ago, I actually wrote a poem on why the company should hire me and how I could help the company. Not saying you have to write a poem, but the point here is you gotta take the extra effort. You gotta go the extra mile if you wanna stand out. If you're using a template, that's cool, but you need to change specific parts that are only about the company so that I can see, okay, you actually took the effort. Nobody just wants a copy-paste message. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Start reaching out to potential clients and surprise them with the extra effort that you're doing. Then go on a call and then book in those clients. You got this.